Hello everybody, welcome back to AI War 2 beginner walkthrough, and you have made it to the end if you are watching this video, because today we are going to plan on cleansing the galaxy finally of the AI and knocking out the warlord, getting our victory. Before that, need to give a thanks to Paul Bransford, I believe was the name, who had a couple of really good comments. One about improving the editing that I was doing, so I really appreciate that, and really should have been obvious in retrospect, but we all have blind spots, and definitely found one of mine. So anything you think I must obviously know, don't feel bashful about commenting, because I may not have just even noticed it. I have done one other thing here that's worth noting, and that is I've got a bunch of matter converters up. I may build more, and that's just basically a do not disturb sign as we go after the Overlord and Elbin, giving me extra energy so that I can have extra resources for building defenses. I'll put more of those up if I need to. Generally not a good idea, because you'd want the metal to rebuild your fleet as things go, but I'm not too particularly concerned about running out of metal in this case, given the fact that I think we're pretty strong. You can see it's estimated 213 force there. I'm sure there's probably more by now. We've got 376 with our mobile fleets in here. And I should mention that if we pop into Greyshire, that having units such as the Hive Golem, if you have them on hold fire, they won't build their yellow jackets. The Combat Factory won't build stuff and repair if it has hold fire on. So I've just recently turned that off. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and smash through. At the end of the video, there's going to be a synopsis of the basic principles, in case you happen to miss any of the episodes where those were discussed. But right now, we've got some work to do. And we're just going to work on plowing through to the place where we need to be. And yeah, let's back that off. I'm
fire on enemy world.
Still at 2 times speed. There we go. Okay, so Damascene here has the most force fields I've ever seen in this particular game. But in general, I'm just going to go with attack move and hang out here in the middle and generally try to clear things out. There's a 2 Theta Guardian. There it went away. That's one of them that's been shown in some of the trailers. And these are the Yellow Jackets going around doing their deal. They do not appear to be nearly as powerful as the Wasps. I think it's a better balanced golem than it was in the first game. But you can also see there's a lot of them. And if they do nothing more than distract the enemy, they've still accomplished a great deal. So we're just going to go ahead and head on over here. I want to clear out this stuff, and I'm just sort of clearing out all of the outlying things. Up there's a Sniper Guardian, and they're trying to get in, and they can't. But we will soon rectify that. Let's go here. Just want to get a little bit closer, and then just pound down this force field as we come in.
Taking fire on border world.
Now they're starting to shrink a little more. Oh yeah. Now they're going away. We're going to clear everything out. We don't plan on taking over this world. We just want to get rid of all the resistance so there's a clear path to the enemy stronghold. There we go. Okay, so now what to do from this point? Well, we want to heal up a bit. And obviously, sending everything in at once, not the best idea. If I kept, for example, the support fleet behind, at least for a bit, so it didn't get hammered when we enter a new system, that would be superior. But we're just doing the beginner, fleet ball type of approach, death ball, whatever you want to call it. We're going to pound through as quickly as possible. So if we head back to the galactic map, this is our first step. We're going to head down this way. We want to knock out Warmoth really quick, and then come back to the action in Thurstone.
Taking fire.
All right, now here we are, one jump away, and let's just take a look. First of all, we've got a whole bunch of stuff coming out here to say hello. AI Praetorian Guard. And that essentially is a special group of AIs that generally they'll hang out and attack you if you get within a jump of the homeworld, what's known as the core worlds. And they generally don't like you very much. They want to come after you. Of course, we've got a bunch of high-level guardians here. So we've got the Widow, the Nucleophilic, another Nucleophilic, and so on. Now the Paralysis Guardian, that's a mere standard paralysis, not a dire one. These are all running away to Elbin. But the Praetorian Guard wants to protect the homeworld. That's basically their reason for being. And then we have, since it's a Mark 7 world, we can't hack this ion cannon. And obviously a Mark 7 ion cannon is going to be painful. I'm going to make that a priority target right now.
Prepare for impact.
And then we just sort of want to hang out here and clear out
Taking fire.
any and all
on border
resistance.
world.
And there goes the Praetorian Guard running away to Elbin. And so, like a bunch of cowardly fools, they flee from our forces. But in reality, that's actually the intelligent thing to do. Concentrate your forces when you can't win the battle that is upon you.
I have the same
So I'm just going to try to cut off as many of them as I can here. And I think we might as well just go pursuit mode and mop everything up. And of course, all of these Guardians, well, they're going to try to run a little bit now, but I don't think they're going to get very far. Nope, probably not. So essentially, peace has come to this area, and you see we've got the beginnings of a counterattack, but nothing too terrible. And I'm surprised that it doesn't think I've got all the guard posts. Let's knock this out, because there probably are some stealth. Yep. Okay, there's a couple stealths over there. That is what was going on. We will eliminate those. Everything will be fine. And we're going to build up a command station over here. Wormholes are over that way. So let's just throw one up in this general vicinity. And I see no reason not now to take the plunge. Let's dive into Elbin. Yeah, they're going to finish building up all of those. Let me make sure on our fleets. They're all looking pretty strong. Let's go say hello. Whoops. Didn't have it selected. All right. What have we here? Well, we have to Theta Guard Post. They send out a bunch of drones. Heavy Beam Guardian. Concussion Guardian. Nucleophilic Guardian. There's a Sabbat Guard Post that'll utterly play havoc with our big ships. Tethuti Guardian, another Dire Sabbat Guard Post, etc. Now, the question is, of course, what do you want to hit first? And for the time being, instead of being overthinking on that, we are simply going to just unload everything and have them hit what they will. But normally you would want to, target to at least get rid of a couple of things before you retreated
Taking fire.
in case
behind
your
enemy
homeworld attack did not work out. Just going to let everybody do their thing here. And we should be getting rebuild from the next system over. Now, I should point out that capturing this system also not particularly the best strategy. And that's because it's going to put the homeworld on alert. So if this doesn't work, then they're going to be getting more and more reinforcements while we try to rebuild, etc. It would be better to grab a system further away. I needed to grab a system somewhere. Probably. Let's see. Yeah, it would be 4 hops away, so it would be just enough for the AI reserve fleet to show up, and that would not have been a good thing to handle this in that fashion. See, our support fleet is basically toast. We've lost quite a few other things. And yeah, the potential reaction to us is getting quite severe. Just the Sabbath Guard post taking some hits, but not much. You can see we still have Praetorian Guard all in here. Let's move over. Let's make sure everything's within range at least. Or we could just go into pursuit mode, which would probably be even more ridiculous, but let's go ahead and do it anyway. At least that way everybody's attacking something. If you're going to attack move, you want to move towards some sort of target. Otherwise, pursuit to go ahead and chew on whatever. And you can see that we're not too far away from the counterattack then being launched. That's not down too far. To Theta Guard Post. Sabbath Guard Post. But we are running out of things to chew on. There goes another guard post. And some of them are just firing at this Warden fleet base.
Let us see if we can make this our last meeting. We will just gather those forces elsewhere in even larger numbers.
That's going to go down soon. There we go. Now I think this is the only thing left. And you can see like the shield's over 2 million, about 500k for the hull. So these are not piddling things here. And it is not by far. That we survived this attack. Would have gone much better, of course, if we'd done it more intelligently. We seem to be holding them off okay in the Citadel for now. There we go, and now we no longer have any concern about that. Now we're pounding the Overlord itself.
Under attack.
You can see it had 5 million hull, 5 million shields, and we're looking forward to that AI progress boosting by 100. Now optimally, we should be just pausing here and not fighting this and rebuilding our fleets. But we don't have time for that. So we're just going to pound, pound, pound away. Of course, in the first game, there was no Phase 2. You simply eliminated the home command station of the AI, or in this case, the Overlord, and the game was over.
Taking fire in enemy territory.
And we're going up here to attack things that are coming in. Probably Praetorian, yep, more Praetorian Guard trying to come in to defend. And there we go, we've switched to Phase 2. Now this thing, as you can see, it's got like 20 million hull and 10 million shields. It also does a bunch of zombification damage, so it is capturing our stuff and using it against us. It's got a fusion bomb, a plasma overdriver. Yes, destroy this last phase during the bottom, though, to defeat this faction. So once this thing goes down, it is all over. Question is, can we defeat it with the forces on hand? We do not have that much left at the moment. We've got some anti-AI zombies, some anti-player zombies. Yep, everybody's still in pursuit, so everybody's still just attacking whatever. And it's continuing to fire away at us. Shields are almost down. But you see that hull is not being cooperative. You can also see at the bottom it's got Norris effect. It displaces enemy bubble force field generators when moving into them, so basically can push your shields away. It's got all kinds of cool things that it can do. Got more anti-AI zombies around. But now the shields rather are down and we've just got the hull remaining. On the other hand, our fleet is, it's not doing too well under the strain. I'm not actually sure if we're going to get away with this or not. Okay, they got a bunch more anti-player zombies here. It is time for us to cut our losses and say, you know what, it's zombification routines are basically taking care of us. So, we just need to get out, repair, rebuild. And I'm just wondering if, like, there's something about the Overlord that prevents our rebuilding from another system or whatever. But you see, now it's running away. So it's not hanging around here and waiting for us. It's going away. While it does that, we can't really be too concerned. Here we go. All of our engineers are going to come out here, and we have got to rebuild our fleet so that we can do something whenever it shows back up again. You can see that our AI progress has indeed been boosted by that extra 100. Our floor is up to 226. And so we are almost there, but have not quite been able to make the kill just yet.
Like this.
All right, we cannot afford to wait any longer. We have rebuilt some. There is much to be done, but they have come to Greyshire. So we're going to go there and try to meet them and see what's what in that scenario. You can see, yep, there's Overlord, and its hull has not health up that much. You can see it's just over half.
Fire on enemy
But
world.
the shields very much have. So its shields regenerate quickly in between combat, which is going to create a bit of a problem for us. Okay, that's coming down this way. Let's go meet it.
Fine choice. Consider it done.
And unload everything that we've got here. And of course, we're just going to target that Overlord with everything that we have. Which, I mean, we're pounding down its shields a pretty good amount. I don't know that we're accomplishing a whole lot of anything else. We cleared out Danube earlier, so let's go
Under
ahead
attack
and
on enemy world.
hop in there and keep up the pursuit.
Sure thing.
Got a little bit of attack on Shinda. Nothing to be concerned with there. It's all about pounding this thing down. And yeah, they've got, what are these? These are the Warden fleet. The Warden fleet is not a big fan of what we're doing. We don't particularly care. Okay, we've knocked its hull down a little below half. The shields are mostly down, but really we haven't accomplished a whole lot here. And now that it's left the system, I think we just got to try to heal up again, because we need to replenish our numbers further. And once again, we're out of time. It's all come all the way down to Rijbergen. So we've rebuilt as much as we can up here in Greyshire. It's all the way down here. And that's only 2 jumps away from our homeworld. You can see its shields almost all the way back up, but again, the hull is, you know, only about half. So we do have significant defenses down here, obviously, but we need to get a move on with whatever ships we have, and we've rebuilt a significant amount, but we're not quite there. So hopefully by the time we get there, there is going to be something left. All right, and here we have arrived. You can see a bunch of stuff has been destroyed. And you know what? Why don't we just sort of add more snipers just for the fun of it? I don't know if the spiders, rather, I don't know if they even do much of anything against these, but we'll give it a shot. And the main thing to sort of notice here is in the first game, you had exogalactic attacks 10 minutes after you hit the AI homeworld, and then every half an hour thereafter. And eventually that would lead to either you or the AI winning. It was a very double-edged thing. And this is double-edged in a different way because the Overlord itself will simply take off and go smash you if you aren't prepared for it. That's sort of, the mobile Overlord is an interesting wrinkle. I'm not sure whether I like it or don't like it, but it's definitely different. And of course, now the nice thing here is we should be getting, and let's double check and make sure we're getting it. But we've popped in here. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff getting built by these factories, but it shouldn't just be those. We should also be getting some activity over here. And indeed we are. So effectively, because they attacked here, it's actually helping us. We've got 2 factories here and 2 factories here, 4 factories working to feverishly replace what we have going on. I'm going to switch back on pursuit mode.
Under attack in enemy territory.
And then, of course, we're going to have our engineers going around doing what they can. And right now, it's just going to sit here. And if it sits here for long, I think we're going to be able to clean it out. Anti-player zombie there. So shields down to about a quarter. The hull is going down lower. And I just think sort of the aggregate force now of the amount of rebuilding we're going to be able to do, plus the what we've already had arrived, is going to be fine. Now we've got this big counterattack wave from when we plowed through. We've got a CPA coming. But we don't really care about any of that. Because if we destroy the Overlord, Phase 2, the game is over.
Taking fire behind
It's
enemy.
down to 40%. On the other hand, it's got a bunch of anti-player zombies. It's not immediately obvious whether we have enough here to deal with this or not. It looks like the Overlord's thinking about leaving, but then didn't.
Taking fire behind enemy lines.
And now it's going away. So once again, we have no choice but to let it go and try to eventually fight off all this mess. We'll eventually do that and start rebuilding. But this is really creating an issue for us. And now it's a bigger issue because Risbergen Command Station is gone. First command station that we've lost. We still have plenty of energy. But we also have a very much a situation. They're going to retake the Elben system. Will that transplant the Overlord there? There's lots of things going on. And so at the moment, we have no reason to stay here. We're going to withdraw our fleet to Shinda and get everybody repaired. And then see what happens from that point. Okay, here we are again. Now we're in Mura. And what we're doing is we're basically crisscrossing, generating a whole bunch more threat trying to knock this thing out before they build up to the point where we're going to have a bigger problem. And meanwhile, this thing is almost dead. It's 2%, 1%. I think we're going to get it here.
On board again.
Let's just focus fire. And there it is. But obviously that can get out of hand pretty darn quickly if you are not careful. And go all the way back to the initial attack on Elbin. We had gone well up until then. And if we had been more careful, if we had knocked out targets, in order when we came in there, if we had stopped and rebuilt before attacking the Overlord, those types of things, this could have all been done so much better. But it does give a good example of how you can screw it up if you're not careful. So the machine menace has finally been put to rest thanks to your efforts. After generations of war, humanity can finally begin the process of rebuilding. Already there are talks of what planet will be most hospitable to colonize. Your former home planet of Murdoch was settled out of desperation. We now have an entire galaxy in which humans can grow and learn in peace. The civilian leadership, recently awakened from cryosleep, wants to make a special commendation to your strike Apathy fleet, which acquitted itself particularly well. Imagine being part of that civilian leadership, being awoken from cryosleep and being like, hey, there was this big war, but we won. You were almost blown up while you were sleeping. You would have never known what happened. Just that whole thing is just strange. And then if we continue, now that whole victory screen is planned to be upgraded with more stats and stuff later, but right now it's pretty basic. I did lower this bar a little bit so we could see at the very right-hand side. We get this "you have won" deal and pause, and we can continue fighting if we want. We're not going to do that. So if you don't learn anything else from this walkthrough, I hope you'd enjoyed it. I'd like to think that you'll retain some of the key ideas, and I just wanted to go back over those real quick. First is just defense first. As we've seen a couple times when we got threatened, if you don't defend your homeworld, you're dead. So nothing else matters if you can't do that. Defend first. And that doesn't mean throw maximum in, because you want to have the right amount of defenses where they're attacking you with their waves. They don't have to keep the wave budget and escalate it higher and higher. But you want to have enough to repel them routinely. So there's a balance to be had there. The whole gate rating idea to limit where they can come from, not letting huge amounts of threat build up in the galaxy, all of those play into that. But defending is your always top priority. Always, always, always. Keep AI progress low for your second goal. And particularly paying attention to the thresholds. If you can keep it below Mark level 2, or at the very least below Mark level 3, that is definitely the way to go. The less strenuous the AI forces, the more successful you're going to be in defeating them. Reshape the galaxy. Consider not just what systems you're taking and what they're going to give you, but like what the condition of things are going to be afterwards. We saw, I think it was Abitable, the one with the poisoned data center, which would have been really nice to hold that major data center, but it would have caused more problems than it's worth. Don't just grab a fleet or a bunch of turrets to help your forces. Know what you're going to do afterwards. Be looking forward, much like a chess player, to how the galaxy is going to look and what you're going to have to put up with in terms of AI attacks after you've conquered it. Focused research. Instead of the method we used, where we just popped in a little bit of everything, you're better off focusing on some key areas, key turrets, key types of ships that you're going to want to hang on to. The hulls are really good for late in the game. If we look at our fleets real quick, you notice that we're pretty much at the Mark IV level. We've got a couple of Mark V things, but we've also got some Mark III things. Pretty much have a Mark IV fleet group, and you'd like that to be more like Mark VI. And that would have made them much more powerful, even with lower numbers. Always have the long-term view in mind, and try to keep your focus on a few types of ships as opposed to just grabbing whatever is available out there. Then as you progress towards the end, you definitely want to maximize your military. We should have used up more hacking, for example, to get more science and upgrade more. Or use more hacking to get additional ARS if you've got the energy for it. Grab more ship lines that way. Whatever you can do to increase your force will increase the likelihood of success, and even if you're going to be successful, increase the safety of the attack on the homeworld. Don't end up chasing the Overlord all over the galaxy like I just did, if you can avoid it. And then, of course, once you've done all that, you simply go for the win. Slay the AI Overlord, or if you're playing with more than one, Overlords. That gets a little more complicated. And some of these, of course, will change as you get better at the game and look at higher difficulties. This is just the baseline view. For example, the buffer zone around your homeworld with the idea of defending first. You might say, well, maybe there's a whole bunch of wormholes around my homeworld, and maybe I don't want to take them all because it'd boost AI progress too much, etc., etc. If you're good enough to have won multiple games on standard or higher difficulty, then you're probably good enough to make those decisions, and you also probably don't need this walkthrough. But we're just looking here at the basic elements. So what next? Well, we're definitely going to do at least one more run. It's going to be on a much higher difficulty, of course. I'll be coming back with that very soon. We'll get into more advanced strategies and many other fun things in the next run. But until then, thanks for watching, everybody. AI War 2 will continue. But for now, victory is ours. The AI has been slain. See you soon.